fitness systems, and this video is all about steroids and the use. Do I agree with it? And my philosophy on the whole steroid thing. Now, if you're an Olympic athlete, or you're a footballer, or you're a competitive bodybuilder, or a competitive strongman, you're probably going to have to take them because everyone else is on them. But you can use your own genetics. If you've already got great genetics, then you could stay away from that. I remember back in my 20s, the gyms that I was training in, all the guys were bigger than me, but I was more defined and more cut than them. And people used to say to me, oh, how much do you weigh? Oh, I weigh 11 stone. Oh no, fucking hell, you can't be 11 stone. You look 15 stone, because I had a lot of muscle, which was lucky for me. But I didn't smoke, I didn't drink, and I stopped taking drugs, as in recreational drugs. So I put all my tunnel vision into my training. So I know from experience, being 53 now, that you can train naturally. You can take creatine, you can take BCAAs, you can take magnesium, you can take L-carnitine, all these different supplements now that are out there, which I didn't know about back in the day, that you can take in which to enhance your physique, in which to get over that 1 rep max, or which to have more power for you to gain more muscle. You know, now they're saying that the biggest thing for gaining muscle is getting as much sleep as possible and consistency of your training. And this is what a lot of guys lack, is consistency. And I've seen guys like in my years that are really fucking massive. Then 6 weeks down the line or a year later, they've lost all the size and they're not even training in the gym anymore. And that's because they didn't have the animal or the eye of the tiger to keep themselves going. Does that make sense? And this is how I keep myself going, age 53, is that I love being big, I love being strong, I love being healthy. And I know that back in the day, 30 odd years ago, all these guys that were taking the gear are either not training now, or they're dead, or they've got some illness so they can't train. Does that make sense? And that's why you should never mess with your hormonal system unless you're doing it for competitive reasons to make money. Does that make sense? If you're like age from 18 to 28, you don't need to take anything apart from BCAAs, creatine and stuff like that. You do not need to take steroids in which to get a big physique. And I've known guys that didn't have broad shoulders. They were very narrow in shoulders, right? They didn't have the muscle mass to start with. They didn't have the genetic potential. So they went on gear and they still look shit, but they just got a bad attitude from it. Does that make sense? So a friend of mine used to have a 30-inch waist. He's now got a 46-inch waist. He can't train like he used to because he's messed with his hormonal system. Remember that when you mess with testosterone, it's a hormone that can go into any different part of the body. And it's so in depth that you really need to see an endocrinologist if you were going to start messing with your hormones. And this is what annoys me about guys in the gym. They go and chat to the guy who's got the bigger arms or the bigger legs, find out he's on gear, and then say, oh, I want to take what you're taking because I want to get legs like you. It doesn't work like that. Does that make sense? If you look at a lot of the top bodybuilders now, some of them, the classic physiques I really like, but the guys that go Dorian Yates's way, I don't like. And then if you look at Dorian Yates, he's in his late 50s or coming into 60s, he can't train like he used to. He hasn't got the size like he used to. Simply because the drugs that he took during the 90s damaged his system so much, and he says he's in constant pain. Is it really worth that? Is it really worth having loads of problems as you age? Whereas with me, I get the odd niggle, but I can massage it. I can do some mobilizers and stuff like that to get rid of that ache or pain. Does that make sense? Whereas if you look at Flex Wheeler having his leg cut off, if you look at Dolph Lundgren, who was in Rocky, he's got cancer because of the steroids he was taking. Then Stallone's had issues, Arnold's had issues, all because of want to looking good in their 20s and 30s, but not thinking about, I'm going to live till 50, 60, 70 and 80, or the Ultimate Warrior, the wrestler that died when he got into the Wrestling Hall of Fame, age 60, then he dropped down dead. Is it really worth that? I don't think it is. But what I will say is that if you do decide to take it, make sure you research it. Buy every book that you can. Don't buy it from the gym guy in the toilet or in the car park. Make sure you find an elite doctor, if you've got the money to do that, in which to make smart, clever decisions. If you're under a doctor and they're checking your blood on a regular basis, hopefully that will stop the problems having. I had another friend was taking growth hormone and got a big cancerous lump on his back. Oh, it's nothing to do with the growth hormone, it's just something that's just come up. All right, oh, fucking idiot. Do you know what I mean? So really, really box clever and really, really look into what you're going to do. Thoroughly research it before you just start sticking it in your body. And then think about your family. You know, if you die early and you've got kids or you've got a wife, you're leaving them behind. It's quite selfish, isn't it? I know that bodybuilding is quite selfish, but I don't do bodybuilding. I do strength and conditioning on my body for functional movement. I'm not into flexing and posing in front of a load of guys that getting off of me posing. Does that make sense? So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please like, please subscribe down there, and post a comment down below.